And it turns out putting up points on the Broncos isn't that big of a thing anymore. Like apparently, I've heard that they gave up 70 last week. Someone said that.
The Broncos have given up 102 points in the last 92 minutes of NFL action.
That's not good. The Bills' defense just suffocated this Washington team. And so all the talk about, well, Washington can play some offense now.
How about 9 sacks? Is that good?
That's 9 sacks is a lot in one game.
Well, let's talk about the sacks. So Howell's been sacked 19 times this season. That's the most of any quarterback. The record, and you'll remember this, David Carr and the Texans, 2002.
He was his roommate back then.
He was sacked, he might have been, sacked 76 times. Howell is on pace to be sacked 107 times.
That's wild, man. That is wild. And now you're playing the Eagles, and really the best weapon for the Commanders offensively is Brian Robinson. It's not Sam Howell. Sam Howell stinks. Brian Robinson, when he's going, it's like, okay, now we've got something. Well, now you're playing the Eagles, the best run defense in the league per DVOA. And this is the other thing that jumped out at me. The Eagles they've got the second most takeaways. So great run defense, aggressive defense that turns you over. That's terrible for a team that needs to run the ball and has given it up the second most times in the league. And then this defense that everyone thought was the strength coming into the season, it's clearly like, if I'm being generous, the Commanders' defense is average. And I think I'm being generous when I say that. And now last week was the first time it really felt like the Eagles started to find something on offense. And that's a scary thing. If they're turning the corner on offense, they can blow this team out.
I think this also almost made my cut because I think it should be higher. And I think there's a lot of talk. The narrative has been that the Eagles just aren't there yet. They haven't turned it on yet. I mean, I've said it how many times? I said I don't want to be opposite the Eagles when they finally turn it on.
And full disclosure, I was on the Bucs in this pod last week, and normally I could sit here and try and come up with a reason why that pick lost, but the Eagles just looked like the Eagles again.
But not really, though. And they were Jalen Hurts was dealing with flu-like
symptoms.
Symptoms.
All throwing up, and they're still better than the Bucs.
They had a bunch of players. Well, that's the thing I'm trying to say is they had their quarterback was sick. A couple of other players were sick, but yet they found a way to game plan to have A.J. Brown more involved in the offense. 9 catches, 131 yards. DeAndre Swift is... I mean, this dude's the real deal. I don't know what was going through Nick Sirianni's mind in week 1, making Kenneth Gainwell the lead back, or maybe it was just strategy because they knew that they had the short week and it was going to be the unveiling of DeAndre Swift at home on a Thursday night, right? Because Philly guy, first game home, a lot of emotions, and he went off. Right. Well, now they return home and he's going to go off again. He's been great ever since they made him the lead back, 130 yards last week. And look at what they did in that first drive against the Bucs. Now they wind up going for it on 4th and 2, and they hand the ball off to Gainwell, and he doesn't get the first down. I mean, probably if Swift runs that ball or if Hurts keeps it, who knows what happens.
I thought the Eagles have like the best plan for short yardage ever.
I know.
Why would you do anything about
weird.
that?
And actually, I talked about this on SOV. Watching that play, it seemed like it was an RPO, and the tight ends and receivers went out for a pass. Like they thought Jalen Hurts was going to keep that ball, not hand it off to Gainwell. So I think everybody was surprised that they didn't get that 4th and 2. But they moved down the field very easily on that opening drive. Just think about how different that game turns out if the Eagles score points on that opening drive. I mean, they didn't play that well, and they still won by double digits.
Yeah.
If they turn it on here this weekend, I mean, this 8 is going to look like it's going to be a joke.
Mac, what are these numbers you have here?
Yeah, you mentioned the 4th and 2 play where they ran it instead of throwing it. Well, that's generally been working for them. Number 1 success rate again this year, rushing the football. So last year they were the number 1 success rate rushing the football. This year they're the number 1 success rate rushing the football. However, passing has gone the other way. Last year they were 11th. This year they're 28th. So they're still getting big plays. You saw Hurts with that touchdown. But play to play, they're not quite as successful in the play in the passing game. That's why everybody's downgrading them. To me, they're still killing it. They're still rushing for 200 yards a game. Yeah. I feel like it's kind of extreme to think they should do a lot better than this.
This to me, and I guess I'm probably doing the opposite of what I always say to do, which is to buy low and sell high. Mm-hmm. We're probably buying Washington low now because people now know that they're not good. And we're probably buying the Eagles high because this was the best game they've had all season. But I don't care. Like you said, the fact that this game was 7 in the summer and now we see that the Commanders are just not good.
Yeah.
I'll pay one extra point. I'm okay with that.
So Fez's power rankings, he's got the Eagles at a 4.5, more than an average team, and the Commanders minus 3.5.
So he's got 7.5
on
a
a
neutral.
And now this game's in Philly.
Why didn't Fez play this one?
I'm surprised. Looking at that, I'm surprised.
That is surprising.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again, this almost made my card, and it was my final cutoff.
You know what? I think Fez didn't play Philly because last week he said the dumbest thing that's maybe ever been said on this podcast.
He was against Philly last week, yeah.
No, when he said
on Washington,
on Buffalo, Washington.
Oh yeah.
When he said, you know what? Washington money line. And then, like, as I'm watching that game, I was thinking, I wonder if Washington's going to come back and win this game. If they're going to score the next 6 touchdowns and win this game. Instead, they kick a field goal with under a minute left just to keep from getting shut out. That team stinks. So I would certainly lean to the Eagles. If not, I might even play the Eagles. What are you pushing on?
I'm pushing the button against Washington. I'm just going to make this an extra pick. So I'm green buttoning the Washington Commanders.
Okay, yeah. I think
they're bad.
I may end up finding my way on to the Eagles this week. At a minimum, I'm using them in a teaser.
I already have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go. The last game with no weighted plays on it is Monday Night Football.
Hey guys, if you enjoy our content and want even more videos from pregame.com, hit that subscribe button right now. I promise you, you will not find better sports betting information anywhere else.